So what we're going to do today is work on pulling off the rear hub and brake drum so that we can service the brakes here. One thing, good tip that I can recommend is I printed off these pages from the service manual that show the exploded view, then had them laminated so that I can get them, they don't get greasy. But this shows the exact order that everything should come apart in here. So the first thing is take the tire off, which we've already done, and then the next thing is the dust cap. So we've already removed the dust cap. So the very next thing is going to be this cotter pin here, and so you need to bend back. You can see the cotter pin in here. I don't know how well it's visible on the video there, but there's a cotter pin, and you're just going to work your little pick in here and hopefully just pull that right out of there. Still bent back here. Then pull that cotter pin out, put that aside. Even though I probably won't reuse it, I've got a full kit of replacement cotter pins. So from there, you're going to take the castle nut off and see if we can find the right tool for that. So we're going to take this castle nut off, pull the cotter pin, and it should just turn right off. You really shouldn't have to use any force on it at all. It just threads right off. So it comes off, and then there should be a washer. Just gonna put that over here out of the way, and then that should be all that we have to pull out in order to start pulling the hub. So we've got a heavy duty hub puller that we're going to try and use here. We're going to try our best. Kind of fun putting these things on sometimes. It's easier if you don't have all the things on the This one's actually pretty loose. Once I got that on there, it's just coming right off. So I don't even need the hub puller. But normally, you just take this in and run the hub in. So we're in good shape there. Kind of shocked that this hub just come right off. So we didn't even need the hub puller at all. So we're just going to pull that off. Set it to the side. And then you're going to have this pin right here that you need to grab out, and it is keyed, and so when you go to put it back in, it's got a slotted side. The slotted side is always going to go down and in at an angle like that. So that's the removal of the drum itself. So we're just going to pop the springs out. I just did that. Forgot to turn the camera back on. And then you should have two little retainers here. You're just going to spin them in until you can work them out. They're kind of a pain in the ass. Sometimes you have to use a pair of pliers. And I'm going to replace these cups, so it doesn't really matter if I bend them a little bit. And they just pull through from the back. So you end up with those two, just a cup on each end and a spring on each end, and then the shoes just come right out. And so these shoes were in pretty rough shape. You can see on the inside of the drum here, the drum's in pretty bad shape. We're going to clean all that up, get everything back the way that it's supposed to. We're going to replace the cylinder, and we should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the back plate off as well. I've already disconnected the brake fluid line from the back of the cylinder. I'm just going to break these. There's 5 bolts here. I'm going to break these loose. I'm sorry, there's 6 bolts here. I can't count. You can use electric or air-powered tools on these, but not knowing the shape of the studs that they're in, you know, I'm just kind of old school and feel like I'd rather use manual tools, so if something's starting to give or feel funny, I can actually feel it. That way I don't mess anything up. Not a big fan of air-powered tools unless I have to use them. Here it's thundering pretty bad outside. Pretty nasty storm outside the garage. Out there. Each one of these is going to have a washer too. Sometimes they come off with the nuts, other times they get stuck there on the backing plate. This one's got a lot of residue and nasty gunk in there, so they're all pretty stuck to that. They'll come falling off when I pull the and then these 2 pieces right here will come barreling off as well. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And that's the back plate removal. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the back plate off as well. I've already disconnected the